Oh God. Oh, this.
I'm like this. I don't know if you, I don't even know if that's gonna be right or not.
That's all right. So, yeah, welcome to another 2PK podcast. I'm Jeff, coming at you live from the center of Riga, Latvia.
hmm My name's
And my,
Taylor, Dallas Taylor. Um, if Pete
and
Hegseth is
what's
looking for
what's going
lethality, he
on
can
your side of the world?
look no further. I'm sorry.
I said, what's going on your side of the world?
Uh, um, we've got a little bit of a drone
Oh, I thought you were going to
visitor.
give a weather report, but you're giving a drone alert.
It's well, things are frozen over here.
Yeah,
The frost hit hard last night. But
yeah.
yeah, we had a little drone visitor. That it's like ironically enough, we're hoping it's the police, right? Because it's like
Of the worst, yeah, of the bad things it could be, the best
yeah,
bad thing is the police. I
yeah,
see what
yeah,
you're
yeah, that are
saying.
like patrolling the neighborhood
Oh, trying to keep you safe.
instead of a cop on the beat walking around, they just sort of send around a drone and keep an eye on
when the
everything.
when the drone was flying overhead, did you hear a noise, like a beat, maybe like da 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 da? Did you hear that as the drone's flying over the
Mm.
Russian national anthem?
Oh no, no,
No, no.
no, I didn't hear that
Maybe see
one.
a little Soviet sticker on the side or something like.
Yeah, like a little flag that it's like trailing
Yeah,
behind
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
or
I saw I saw
all the
I
fishing
saw a
line.
map of Russian incursion into the Baltics and Poland. They showed like where these incursions were. None in Latvia so far.
hmm
Lithuania had a few, Estonia had a bunch, Poland had dozens,
Yeah.
but Latvia map was clear of the Russian
hmm
incursions. So I feel safe. I know that might be a naive position at this point in the world, but that made me feel a little better.
Well, um, I I think a lot of people have like a lot of rosy colored glasses, so to speak, about it. Um, but then also it's like just if you keep everything going and people ignore it, then it's not the threat isn't really effective, so you keep life going as much as possible. Um,
That's interesting. The theory about threat, like the idea that, okay, so the Russians, I want to call them Soviets all the time, but just the Russians, the threat of them attacking the Baltics, just that threat that exists, this existential threat that Russia could attack the Baltics and maybe wipe us out before NATO or anybody else could react, whatever. So that threat, just having
it
that
might just
threat.
be it might be down to people in the Kremlin. Because I would, like it's not really good to be lumping all Russians into it as, you know what I'm saying? Where it doesn't help anything.
Oh, because I'm saying the Russians,
Yeah, yeah,
but
and
I
I'm
should
thinking
say
about it even from a
like the
personal
Kremlin.
even from a personal perspective, like when I'm like posting on Facebook, I'm like, oh, we should change the R and the RNC to Russian, blah blah blah. Like I know I have Russian people that are I'm friends with on Facebook
Oh
that
yeah,
would look at it and be like, like, why are you attacking me, or why are you attacking Russians?
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not. But so that's what it's like. It's
I think
hard to discuss it
it's a
because it's like
very
it's all like
heady issue.
all types of people have all types of people
Yeah,
mixed in with it. That's the
yeah.
problem with
We're we're
identity.
we're oh yeah, we were talking about that the big protest that we had here in Riga a couple weeks ago for the Istanbul Convention, and one of the chants that the Latvians were chanting was, "We're not Russia, we're not
hmm
Turkey, we are Latvia. Like we don't want to be out of this
hmm
conference like Russia and Turkey." And they're saying we aren't Russian, right? By and there's
Well,
people,
that's the
there at the
country,
protest, these
the
Russian
government.
speaking Latvians who are there hearing that. And it's a little bit offensive. It hurts a little bit to hear like your nationality, your ethnicity, your language
hmm
being lumped into this evil, like this evil presence. And I think
Yeah.
it's one of the really hard things to separate here in Latvia because we have just for the record, it's about 50-50 in Riga itself, Russians to Latvian population. So we both live here in Riga and we're interacting with people of Russian descent, people who speak Russian language, who aren't necessarily from Russia proper, but the former Soviet Union.
They're
And
they cut your hair.
they cut your hair, they
They're
serve
the
your
best
food. They,
barbers I've ever had,
oh
right?
wow. You
Yeah,
got a
and
Russian
like
barber, yeah.
yeah, and I have no threat of those scissors going into my neck. You know, like I'm not worried about it at all. Like, because they just have to get through
Okay,
all of
so
this.
let me go back to the original topic
Yeah.
here. It was there was a drone flying over your house. I implied it could have been a Russian drone, but now I might need to narrow that and say a Putin drone or a Kremlin drone. Yeah,
Yeah, or is it like hostile neighbors or
right.
friendly
Friendly.
neighbors? Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
like
basically,
hostile.
and
Hostile is a good
it's
word.
like it's as real as literally the person that is like right next door, or
Right.
right in the apartment next to us, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like um, it's as personal as it gets, I guess.
Yeah.
Where it's like it really is a situation where those people should not be victimized and lumped into something that they probably don't agree with in the first place.
Well, that's true
Um,
too. Like you
you
can't
should be looking
assume that
for
just because a person speaks Russian or is Russian descent that they agree with what Russia's doing,
exactly, yeah,
what the Kremlin is doing
right.
with their decisions.
And
And
it's also a little strange too, because like I deal with this somewhat on a daily basis of where this idea of Latvian identity, like you have it like 100%, right?
yeah,
So you learn Latvian, you go into Latvian culture. There's no daylight there. There's no hiccups and
yeah,
no contradictions or discrepancy. Or
yeah, I
um,
hear you.
so, but like at no point, if someone like myself or someone that's not of an outside culture would try to go into another culture and take that culture on the way that it seems to be presented to want to be adopted in order to be right with certain
Right.
people. um it's like I feel like, so it's like it creates this conundrum where it's like if you're going to be here you have to be us, but then it's like if I was to become you, then you would see that I have no principles whatsoever and no
Can we?
anchored in
I
identity
I like the
of
topic. Can
who
we
I
look at it
am.
from an Can we look at it from an American lens?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying Latvians are like that.
I am. Yeah, I'm saying it as
Because
an American,
I wanted to show this little difference here
as that
because
outsider.
yeah, but I thought we were talking about Latvian culture, not accepting the Russian born people, the Russian speaking people, because they'll never fully integrate
That is,
the
yeah,
Latvian.
that is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what you're saying. So I want to go look at that from an American lens
Hmm.
where so Latvian culture, I don't want to sound snobbish or whatever, but you've got the Lat people who have been here for thousands of years and they've lived in this land, they have their language, and throughout that time they developed their specific Latvian culture. It's very similar to Lithuanian, it's similar to Estonian, it's Baltic, but
Hmm.
it's not exactly the same. It separates, the culture is different in its own way. But in the United States, we don't have a historic culture. And it's one of the things that drives me crazy about the white power people. Like, they're not in our culture. It's not our culture, or whatever. But we don't have an ethnic culture. We have Irish people, Scottish people, Welsh people, English people, Germans,
German,
Scandinavians, all these people from all these different places. And then later, Chinese people, Italian people, Jewish people, all these different ethnicities combining
black
to
people.
create
Hmm.
yeah, of course, yeah,
Hmm.
of course, to create this culture that isn't a unified culture. And I talked about this before. And so to look at other people and say you don't belong to our culture, it's completely insane.
Hmm.
Like here, a Latvian could say, yes, this isn't our culture because we have a very specific historic culture. But in America, we don't have a specific American culture.
Well, we
It's
kind of
always been a
do,
mix.
in the sense of where like um it's what that created, right? But it's always something a little bit different to different people of
Yeah.
what, you know.
And it evolves and changes,
Right.
which
And so like I see it where like we do have like things where I would say something like the square dance, you know. I mean, as weird, that's what you get though, right? And like and then those songs like that you had sheet music at your Fourth of July party where it was like, you know, Camptown Races,
Oh,
the old
that's a
Woody,
racist song though.
the old Woody Guthrie songs. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And
This land is your land.
wasn't the national anthem quite racist? It was like an extra verse or something that
The,
they
yeah,
put in.
the like the third verse has a reference
Everything
to
there,
slavery.
you cannot separate it. It's like slavery in the past and racism in the past and all of that stuff in the past. You can't separate a lot of that from human experience, right?
Right.
Because that's just what everyone, it's almost like slavery was like the banking system essentially, and we traded
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Now we don't have that, but we have credit scores. We have, you know, like loan kind of
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
debt enslavement.
Wage slavery. Yeah.
Yeah, and you definitely would have the slavery and the sex trade and stuff like that much more, I would imagine, than any other piece of society.
Speaking of the elite and the slaves and that sort of thing, I heard. Do you want to talk about your party that you went to?
Well, yes, absolutely. We can get there. Just so
Sorry to
maybe I should
sorry to throw
preface.
that at you. I was trying to come up with a segue because I didn't want to forget to ask you about it.
Yeah. It's not often that you get to go and step from one strata sphere of life, one strata of life to another strata
Yeah.
from day to day or from moment to moment.
Right.
Here in Latvia, it really is that small where you can do that with a lot of ease and people that are
I
around
take
you.
it. I take it you're looking for pictures now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
Can
there.
I enter? Okay. So this is Independence Day, November 18th in Latvia. I was home watching the celebration on TV, and my good friend Dallas was living it up with
Hmm.
what did you do, Dallas? Where did you go that night?
Oh, well, we went to the President's Ball,
Dum,
to
da, da,
the
dum.
Riga Castle, and my wife was invited as her role as the chairperson of AppLV,
Amazing.
which is
Where did you rent your
Brain
tux
Gang.
from? Are you wearing makeup?
No,
Okay.
I'm just look like a vampire.
You do look like a vampire in every picture.
Yeah, yeah, uh,
You put
kind
a
of,
suit on and you become the vampire
yeah.
Dallas. Wow.
And so
That
here
looks kind
was
of
the
creepy with the
ballroom.
red lights.
Yeah. It was a little, and it had the jazz speakeasy.
Wow.
It was really
Live
nice.
music?
Live music on like in every on different floors. Live
Wow.
jazz music, even different bands that were changing out. That looked
And
like
who
they're
was the
from different.
most important person you rubbed shoulders with? Did you get to talk to the president? Did you get to
I
speak to the prime minister?
I was able to clink wine glasses with the president himself,
With the current president of Latvia? Oh
with the
wow, there's
current president.
presidential portraits. That was cool.
Yeah. Hold- Here, they're I
See,
believe.
Latvia has a ballroom.
Yeah,
Take that, America.
it's absolutely the most ornate room I've seen in
Looks
Latvia.
like Donald Trump would appreciate it. Looks
Yeah,
like.
there's I thought that was cool for a little bit of where you could see like the costumes and that where it's almost inseparable
Oh
from
wow.
where what some of the movie sets I've been on.
Yeah, I love
You
that.
know,
The fur coat next to the police coat is a great
yeah,
contrast. Yeah,
This the people, and
yeah, very
but
cool.
also like the where it's like I've been on movie sets here as a Russian soldier and a French soldier,
Yeah.
and there it's very similar to the whole dynamic is very similar. And this is just a little walk down.
Yeah, this is
Um,
great. A
didn't
little
want to
walkthrough.
upset the security services too much by
Wow.
putting this out there. I hope everything was copacetic, but yeah, there you can see the band.
Wow.
Let's see here. There we go.
Groovy.
Yeah,
Well, thanks for
yeah.
sharing. It makes me feel almost like I was there without
Well,
having to get dressed up in a suit.
yeah, yeah.
So,
That's like some of us will go through it for the rest of society.
so
And
you
like
said
this is
you clinked
a good
glasses with the president, you said?
um you clink glasses with the president. And something that they don't
No,
tell you, Jeff,
Reykjavik. Yeah.
is that when this is something that people don't warn you about, where you go to
Oh.
these things, you get all dressed up, you
Mm-hmm.
want to smell nice,
Yeah.
brush your teeth, put some
Yeah.
breath
Comb your
spray
hair.
on so you don't
Yeah.
have, yuck mouth at these
Mm-hmm.
people. And when you're, making the big deals, right?
Yeah.
Because we're
Yeah. Yeah.
making the big deals here.
Schmoozing.
Yeah. And then they serve you hors d'oeuvres, right? And little
Yeah.
appetizers. And they're coming around with the trays, and you're like, oh, this is nice. Oh, little bit fishy. And
A little bit.
a little
Little,
bit
yeah.
like, oh,
They
like
like their little fish.
this might get on my breath. The next
Yeah.
one, oh, this is even fishier than the last one. And then they might come around with some liver or some
Or some
foie
garlic
gras
or onion. Yeah.
or the foie gras stuff. I don't know if they're
Is
serving
this a great
this is the kind of
equalizer?
place that they would, but I don't know
Yeah.
if they did. I just know that and it's like the things that we were being served got progressively smellier
Yeah.
and tastier. Like they didn't
Hmm.
taste bad. It was
Right.
just that like you could tell that they were going to make your breath
Yeah.
absolutely dragon
Yeah.
breath.
It's a great equalizer. It's a way of making everyone at the party feel equally.
Yeah.
No one stands out with their bad
Right.
breath. Everybody's got bad
It
breath.
might be to throw off the baddies. So if anyone's
Yeah.
there to do any harm, all of a sudden they're self-conscious about their breath, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it
That
disarms
could be it
them.
too. Like, yeah.
They're like,
Also,
oh,
probably
like
a test for
I'm a little
outsiders.
embarrassed. I don't want to do anything that would stick out,
Yeah.
that could upset the place. But yeah,
Yeah.
I got this. So I'm sitting there. It was not as boring as I expected it to be.
Wow.
The
High praise.
Yeah, and I'm myself, and I'm just kind of um thinking of the comedy of it all, that someone like myself would be in such a situation to begin with.
Right.
And so I'm just having fun with it. I'm not all uptight. I'm making all the generals and the police and everyone, all the commanders of everything. They're quite nervous, and we've been assured that they've beefed up security since then. So, and they're gonna scrub that guest list a little bit, have a little more scrutiny on that thing next year.
Did you say something, or are you just being paranoid?
No, I'm just joking. What
Oh,
it is that like
I thought
when you're
maybe
in a
you started.
situation like that, you bring your culture with you. So
Yeah.
if you are animated and you like to tell stories and jokes and dance around and and like kind of be a little bit of a goofball, that's like that's what's going to happen. Um,
Um.
but yeah, so the place, it was like you could just tell everyone was so kind of nervous about what the event was,
Yeah.
that it was kind of like when you get the giggles at a funeral, where it's
Yeah.
like, hey, like I
We
can't
don't
take
know.
this too
Yeah.
seriously, because
Yeah.
everything looks a little surreal and a little bit of an animated tapestry.
Yeah.
So
So I got a quote for you that relates to this general topic. Yesterday I was meeting with a friend of mine, and we were talking about the difference between Latvia and the United States. And this guy said that Latvia, one of his friends told him that Latvia is a great place to be poor in.
yeah. Hmm.
and I thought that kind of related to this idea of the how a guy like you could end up in a place like this and nobody, it's just normal. No one's, you're not an outsider, you're not an outcast.
Right.
What do you think? Is Latvia a great country to be poor in, or is that kind of a overstatement? Or
Um, it you can't be poor and happy, um, but you can definitely be someone who's middle class and happy, if that
that's
makes,
what I said. I said we're
yeah.
not poor, we're more of the middle class.
Well, and what it
Um,
is that it's like that the food prices and the rent prices are okay. You
yeah,
know, so
food, people, man, it's going up.
as long as as long as the rental prices and the property, um that's the apartments and the units that are available stay affordable for people, and the grocery prices don't go crazy,
Yeah.
you know. And
It's you can live here because there's enough social net, there's the medicals taken care of, lots of
mm,
the things that you just need to live are kind of taken
yeah,
care of.
that's
So yeah, it's
affordable.
that's
The but it's like it's what the problem is that it cannot be affordable for locals if the jobs aren't there and if the
yeah, we
work's
do,
not
yeah,
there.
of course, got to have the
And
work.
and
That's
what I'm seeing in Latvia is that there's a lot of potential in construction, that's not being like there's a lot of space for people to build,
yeah,
but I don't see the younger generation coming into the workforce. It's like 5 to 1, where there's five older guys,
oh yeah, yeah.
like past their retirement age usually,
Hmm.
and one younger guy that's maybe in their 30s.
Now I
Um,
don't know if that's a shortage. I don't know enough about it to say that's a shortage of workers or just the dynamic of the work system here, where people will work until they're too old to work anymore.
well,
And so
it's this
finding openings.
disparity.
Yeah, well, I was always worried about that. I think this is true in the United States too. The trade laborers, the disappearance of the trade laborers, where you could get an apprenticeship and you learn how to do a trade, and then you become good at it, and then people call it here they call you maester, right?
Hmm.
You go to somebody's house and you fix the things. And like you said, like most of those people I call who have come to my house to fix something, they're always older. And like you see the people, I watch the people rebuild Gertrude Street here with the brickwork, and they're laying the bricks and doing the leveling and sand. And it seemed like something you couldn't show me how to do this in a day and say, go do that. It
Hmm.
looked to me like these are people who have learned how to do this from their grandpas and their fathers and passed it down to understand like how these
Hmm.
bricks, because it is such an amazing job. There's
Hmm.
no concrete. They put a sand bed down and then lay the bricks in one by hand, so they're perfectly level and will stay like that for 20, 30 years without anything happening to them.
Hmm.
And I'm watching them do this and I'm thinking that's hours and hours of training and work, and they're doing it. But yeah, they're all seem like
Yeah,
they're a little bit older. And then I'm wondering, like, are there going to be young people who know how to do this? Like, this
right.
is such an old,
And what you're seeing in Latvia specifically, and I'm sure it's this way, in other places here, like Estonia
mm-hmm,
and Lithuania are
yeah,
even better economies.
yeah,
So it's like you have people who are scraping by, who still live like, where they're collecting scrap metal and going
yeah,
to
yeah,
little huts, in
yeah,
the city, to for deposits, and for bottles
yeah,
and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And then you have a whole giant middle class that's doing so well, that there's a lot of energy focused on basketball,
Mm-hmm.
and you have in other sports, but a lot of basketball. And the statistics don't seem to be there at all, to where you would have like a maybe 10% at best of the population, or of everyone that was in the sport, would be able to have a career in the sport. Like you have some coaches, you have some people
Yeah,
around it, you have some
yeah,
facilitation of all of that. And so it's difficult, especially when something is successful, as it has been, where you have basketball teams, basketball celebrities, ghetto games, and stuff like that. Um, so you wouldn't want to take away from that at all, and you would want to build on that, but also you'd want to have something where you use that energy to have these crack teams that just go out and hustle on like storm damage in the US, and then and getting their bread and butter, and making that happen, and then come back to Latvia and do subdivisions. That's going to create a situation where people that are Latvians are doing well, and people that are inside Latvia are doing well, and you don't have to bring in outside construction labor.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
creates all of
That's
these other problems,
right,
that I
right.
don't know where else you're going to have illegal immigration in Latvia if it's not construction, or
Yeah.
again, the sex trade.
Well, Walt Bolt bike riders.
Yeah, but that's not going to be bringing them in.
No, well, I think they don't you think so? They're all people
No,
of a certain
no, I think
immigration
they're,
status are delivering food here.
yeah, but I think that they're here, and that's what gives them employment for being here in another capacity.
Maybe,
I don't
maybe, but
like,
I think, don't you think there's that chain migration thing where somebody gets a job doing this, and then the company's like,
you
"Do you know
think that
anybody
they're,
else who could do this?"
I mean, if
And then they
that's
call their
happening,
cousins and they call
yeah,
their
if that's
brothers.
happening, that shouldn't be the case unless they're connected directly to the security and reservist status of
Yeah,
Latvia, right?
yeah,
Like that's the only reason that should ever happen. There,
yeah. I'm just saying that's the most visible immigration work I see here. Like the
it is, but I
these.
know, but there's a lot of students. So you have foreign
Yeah,
students
yeah, of
here,
course.
and foreign students are a good backbone of an economy. Where
Yeah,
you have people that come in,
bringing in outside money,
bring in
doing work,
outside money.
doing
You don't
yeah,
have to pay them,
paying
and they
rent.
might
Hmm.
contribute in great ways,
Yeah,
if they do stick around. Um,
yeah,
but that all becomes like a really delicate thing where it's like you don't know what the particular right balance of that is. But then if it was an emergency situation that everyone seems to be screaming,
yeah.
about right now and throwing up the red flags about, you're going to need everyone you possibly can in the medical, in the
Security.
fighting. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not even a question. Which
Did you
gets
catch
to
the
our like
parade
bigger
this
point.
year?
In our last, I'm
Oh,
sure we only have 10 minutes,
I
but
don't know. I didn't see the
but
clock.
like this deal with Ukraine, while Ukraine's suffering through this calamity of a corruption scandal.
Oh
um,
yeah.
I don't even know the real particulars of this corruption scandal, but it doesn't make anything look good. Um, and then Europe seems to just kind of be on a treadmill, and then like constantly running through the same, ballet every single time. Um, Even though there's been all of these commitments and all of this effort and all of this rhetoric around it, and even hardcore financial plans that are set in place, it doesn't seem like there's any backbone matching any of that. um
Yeah, I'm reading through the peace plan now, the 28-point peace plan that they're talking about.
this just seems like it. Honestly, you've dealt with it, I've dealt with it, I've seen it all my life at church throughout the years in
What's
different
that?
ways. This is dementia. Like they're doing the same. They're just like, let's try it this way, let's try it this way, let's try it this way. It's like, somebody take the keys away from them, because they're clearly ready to crash Air Force One,
But did you
like
read
straight
did
into
you
the
read that a
White
lot of
House.
the did you read that a lot of the wording in the actual plan translated from Russia, and that's why it sounds the way it does.
I
It's like
all I
they
heard that.
took the Russian plan, they translated it to English and said this is our plan, and that's terrifying to me.
Yeah, and from this guy Witkoff, who's just an absolute weirdo. Um,
What's
like
Witkoff? What is Witkoff? I don't.
he's a real estate guy, and he's become this like
Special envoy to the Middle
he's
East.
special envoy. Exactly. There you go.
So what does he have to do with the Ukraine peace plan?
he goes and he's doing these he's like the intermediary between the parties and speaking on behalf of the US government basically
Yeah,
and doing these negotiations for the peace deal on behalf of Ukraine. They've got the rare earth metals, and then with the
yeah,
deal that they're trying to do with the Arctic, they're trying with U.S. and Russia. They're going to try to do some rare earth metal deals there.
yeah,
So put those two things together, and that means Russia gets Ukraine's rare earth deals
yeah.
that
Oh
they've
yeah.
gotten over.
There's a whole
So
thing about
this,
the
yeah,
yeah.
this one's it's like you would have to have dementia to look at and take it seriously, and like you'd have to have a
But
head
the
injury.
sad thing is Ukraine is more and more on this like being squeezed, like
Well, and that's what I'm
to
saying about
take
this corruption scandal. So
yeah,
it's like whatever the particulars are of that, if that was money that was being squandered so that it didn't go back into the public in one way or the other, like
yeah,
that's pretty messed up, and that government should be undone, but it's like so there are things that are like working to benefit the propaganda that came out at the very beginning of this thing,
yeah, yeah.
and where you there's something about well, I mean, you can see all of the Nazification stuff. I mean, Elon's
Nazi
throwing up his hand.
vacation stuff.
Yeah, but it's also strange because Elon also seems to be pretty in with Putin and in with the Russians and stuff. And so, like, if they're looking for Nazification of something, they don't have to look
Nazi
any
vacation. I don't understand.
Nazification. Yes,
Oh,
Nazi.
Nazification.
Hmm. Yeah.
It
So
sounded like
they
you're
don't have
saying
to look
Nazi
any further
vacation.
than
I
Elon
couldn't figure it out.
and Elon and Don Jr. and all
Yeah,
of that
yeah. And
and
Trump said he's a fascist.
they're
He just said it
happily
to Mamdani.
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
said, "I am a fascist." Like, tell it's okay. You can
yeah.
say it.
That,
It
that's
was great.
the Mondani thing and Trump in the Oval Office. That's like
Yeah, that
two
was bizarre.
two political chameleons meet in the wild,
Yeah,
and they
and they just
cancel each other out.
transform into it. Yeah,
It's just it totally
I
is
don't
like
know what they said to
nobody
each other. That
understood it.
yeah, that was bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to ask you before we run out of time. Make sure I get this. Odds of anything happening with the Epstein files and actually being meaningful to the
Um,
if you're Vegas, what are the what how much what money would you put on it?
I mean, he's made it this far. What looks like to me is that the worst informants in the world have gone in and been able to unravel and take over the entire thing based on the system of what is it, confidential informants, you know? So that's what it looks like to me is that there was something that was there, and the bigger system relies on the what it seems like these deals with really unsavory characters,
Yeah,
where like they're literally in bed with their enemies. It
yeah,
seems like
yeah, absolutely.
because I don't understand the word enemy. Apparently, if all of this everything that's been going on this past
Right.
week
Well, yeah, it's all they're
and
all in it. Like it's all this
mhm,
collusion. I think I did I talk about that last time about the NFL being a socialist organization. And I
mm,
talk about that
mm,
with you. I don't remember, but anyway,
no.
it basically comes down to all these. Every NFL team is owned by billionaires. You have to be super rich to own
Oh, yeah,
NFL
yeah,
teams. So
yeah.
these are
And they
all
get
super
public money.
capitalist
Mhm,
people, the ones that are fighting for capitalism and lower taxes and all those things. But within their own group, basically they've created a socialist economy with the
mhm,
NFL where they cap the amount they're going to pay the players. So no team can pay your players more than another team,
mhm,
and that way they don't spend more money. Like if it's a true capitalist system where
mhm.
we want the best, we're going to pay these guys more because they're better
And
players and
based on
we're going to make the best
percentage,
team.
yeah, yeah, percentage
But
of a
now they
ratio
can't
or
do
whatever.
that. So now all the it's all about the owners getting more money rather than
Mhm.
the people who do the work
Well,
for
and those
them.
stadiums are
Then
public.
they share income.
Mhm.
across the board. So even if you've got a crappy team that's not pulling, like, you'll still get a fair pay, even though you're not competing at the same level as the higher level competitors, because they've agreed that it's more profitable for everybody if we work together. We keep the system like this. We share the profits. Everybody gets something,
Mhm.
instead of a true capitalist system where best team gets the most and all that.
A free market
So
or
so
something
so
like that.
when it comes to their inner, like, whatever, there are no enemies, there are no politics. It doesn't matter what your allegiances are, whether you're Nazi or communist or pedophile or rapist, whatever. It doesn't matter, as long as we work together to gain more,
Yeah.
whatever
Hmm.
power, money, wealth.
Oh
We will
yeah,
work
trust me,
together to
dude.
do that.
There's a lot of surrender monkeys out there too. I've seen that, right? Like I'm telling
I'm a
you,
surrender monkey. I'm a surrender. What is a surrender monkey, dude?
it's just somebody who's going around ready to capitulate in any direction they need to at any moment. And
To
like
be get to gain something.
to gain and like and I've saw it when I first got here at a conference where the I messed up and like accidentally went to a security conference
Good
thinking that
job.
thinking it was for like alarms and tasers and or
Oh,
like
I thought you thought it was like a security conference, like that was the name of a punk band. We are
mm,
security conference. Welcome Riga. Woo! And security
no, I was
conference. No.
expecting more like really good locks, really good, like
Bagels?
entries, like
Oh, I thought bagels and locks, but you're talking like physical, actual lock. Okay.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
buddy.
like a key
I'm
lock.
yeah, I
No,
get it. I was listening
okay,
to NPR today, and they were talking about bagels and locks, and so you said
okay, but
locks, and
so
they
like
have really good locks. Like,
good security cameras,
yeah,
entries, security entries, fingerprint type stuff,
yeah, yeah.
facial scanning, all that kind of stuff. And even if there were speakers associated with it, a lot of times a conference like that will have an expo where there's like a
Yeah.
trade
Oh yeah.
situation, right? Where it's like they all come and like here's,
Yeah.
a more commercial thing where everybody gets a booth.
Right.
And so
But your
I was just
security conference.
going, I was going to wanting to go see the new gear in the
Yeah.
Baltics because I'm like, well, if anybody's going to have the best tasers and mace, it's going to be the Latvians.
All right. The
And
good
so, but
stuff.
it ended up just being the like top level of NATO. And
Yeah.
so, and I'm like, oh, and but I was prepared for it, but I
But
was
it was
pre
an open. It was open to the public.
totally, yeah, all this stuff is.
Oh,
And so I was ready
so you
for it
went
because
to
I
a
had 20
NATO
years,
security conference and
and so
actually. Oh,
I
that's
had 20
hilarious.
years of experience of watching C-SPAN.
Yeah.
So I was ready for it, man. And even calling in, right? So I'm like calling in, I'm like, yeah, I don't like this. I don't think this is the way the country should go. I'm ready, I'm calling in on the radio stations and stuff. So I'm ready to speak
Wow.
my mind. And yeah, so they get up there. And even then, they were talking about how NATO was set up primarily to never have war on the European continent ever again.
Good.
And yeah, sure. If that means selling everything to
Oh,
Russia,
I see
that's
where you're going with this.
and making it where the entire thing
They'll
is set
capitulate.
up just to negotiate peace and to create peaceful situation at all costs. So all
Wow.
of this money for military, all of this money for defense is all really to make it where there's business partnerships and
Trade and all that
relationships
to
that
keep
keep
things.
everything moving. And that way, it's almost like a giant insurance company when it really
Yeah.
boils down to it, because you start to
Yeah.
see
Just
it
play
where it's
both
like
sides. We
it's
got
yeah,
less than a
loss
minute. We got less
prevention.
than a minute warning. Just, is there anything else you want to say before we go?
Just that avoid be ready for stinky breath from
If you go
fancy
to a
hors d'oeuvres.
presidential, if you
Hmm.
go to the presidential
Yeah,
ball,
yeah,
take
and
some mints with you. That's a good
yeah,
advice. That's good advice.
and be ready to like do the dive in front of the
Yeah. Well,
president at any
this has
moment
been two
because it could
PKs.
crack off.